Venezuela, that was some mean bush.
The last couple of days for Venezuela has been one of the most insane times to be alive in that country in recent years. Now look, it's no secret, Venezuela as a country, and you know, on the surface, it looks like an amazing, you know, beautiful, like, you know, country, you know, with its nature. But one thing we cannot deny, right, is that Venezuela as a country, it just doesn't know what it wants. I like to consider Venezuela the guts berserk of countries, because Venezuela has suffered so much more than probably most countries, all right? Probably not the most suffered, but I'd say it's one of the, like, the most suffered countries ever, because at one point it was one of the, like, the largest, richest countries on this earth, all right? It surpassed even that of the United Kingdom at one point. Because the country is just, it's so oil dependent, of course, it's a root ground for dictators to get involved and start being a little bit more involved in politics. You know, Nicolas Maduro, who served as the president of Venezuela up until 2013, now to, well, 2026, you know, he has been involved in some really interesting journeys over the last couple of years. Have you guys ever heard of a TV show that he made? Have y'all ever heard of Super Bigote? Which translates to Super Mustache. Wow, what an amazing name. I wonder what that name refers to. Nicolas Maduro made a superhero TV show about himself, portraying himself to be like this great guy, you know, this great superhero figure. You know, this show even got so popular, right, that there's even action figures of these running around. Look, I wanted to review Nicolas Maduro's superhero TV show, right? Because it's only fair. Now, I am going to warn you guys that I am going to be translating this from my Mexican Spanish, alright? So if some of the words don't directly translate into my dialect, you know, I'm sorry, but I just know Mexican Spanish, so I don't know Venezuela. I don't know how different it is. I'm sorry. I just know it's very different across the continent. Alright, so the first episode of this masterpiece is called Nico y Celita viajan por Venezuela, which translates to Nico and Celita are traveling through Venezuela. Let's get introduced to our intro. Why did they straight up just rip off Magneto's costume design? It's literally bar for bar, literally just Magneto's color palette. Was Maduro a fan of the X-Men and more specifically Magneto? Because like, it almost looks like the Man Ray from SpongeBob, right? But if you added like Omni-Man's face into it and made him browner.
¿En qué piensas, Nico?
En que tenemos el mejor país del mundo y el mejor café.
So basically what this lady is asking Maduro here is like, what is Maduro thinking, right? And Maduro says, well, he is thankful that he has the best place on earth, which is Venezuela, of course. What else would it be? They have the best coffee. Definitely not mentioning that they have the best economy, because you know why. And also, I really like the animation of him petting the golden retriever, you know, just to showcase that Maduro's a nice guy. Look at his Omni-Man looking ass right here, alright? That's how you know he's a nice guy. So in our next scene, right, it basically has Maduro and his wife basically traveling out to the different states of Venezuela to see why it's so great to live in Venezuela, right? But I gotta comment one thing. Are they actually using voice actors to voice act in this? Because it feels very AI generated. It gives me that AI generated feel. Almost like it's animated on Grok AI, if you know what I'm saying, right?
Prueba.
Tienes toda la razón. ¿Y qué querías mostrarme?
Vamos a dar una vuelta.
I don't know, man. I feels very AI generated, bro, but I don't know.
Pero cómo llega sin avisar, habríamos preparado.
Have you guys noticed, right, whenever these characters stop moving, right, they just stay locked in place? Like, look at Maduro and his wife right here. They're just stuck in the same position, right? Look at the little girl in the bed right there. So basically in this scene, right, the nurse is saying, oh my god, you didn't advise us about anything, like you just came in without warning. And Maduro's basically saying, well, do not worry, my fellow citizen, I am always here to serve my people. Sure, Maduro, sure. I'm sure everybody would love to be served by the great Super Bigote.
Estamos realizando en todo el país. Hoy todos estos bebés sonríen gracias a esa iniciativa.
Ay, eres hermosa, bebé. Ahora sí tienes quien te proteja.
Guys, what's with politicians and kids, bro? Like, why do they always have to make it the focal point? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It seems kind of weird. It seems kind of weird. Now, even though these episodes are only 3 minutes long, pretty much for the rest of the episode, right? Maduro, you know, portraying himself in the animation form to just being overall a nice, great guy. You know, he's playing basketball with the kids. You know, he's saying a lot of motivational stuff about how Venezuela will have a greater victory for tomorrow.
Es importante mantener a Venezuela hermosa. Revolución sin estética no existe. Seguiremos haciendo el milagro de poner a Venezuela bella.
And you know that's pretty cool, right? But when you really think about it, Maduro was in power for 13 years. What the hell was he doing for 13 years? And the episode pretty much just ends with them pretty much just saying that, you know, Maduro basically just glazing Venezuela, that, you know, Venezuela just it's just better in every way. Like we actually work for the people, and that Maduro, he's always proud to be working for the people.
Sabes, cada día tengo más ganas de trabajar por mi gente.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
So this next episode we're going to cover, right? This is actually the most popular one off the Super Bigote YouTube channel. This one is called Super Bigote Derrota el Capitalismo, which means Super Mustache defeats capitalism. Yeah, and let's just get straight right into it.
Yo se acabaré contigo, Super Bigote.
Oh my god, dude. They have blood outside, dude, and they have actual skulls outside. Maduro really went ham and really just said, hey, let's portray capitalism to be the absolute nightmare that it is. And apparently he had this in mind.
Con todo mi poder de ultraderecha colonizadora, desestabilizaré el país como me da la gana. Serán de nuevo nuestro patio trasero. Voy a robar la paz y tranquilidad, porque los pueblos no pueden tener voz.
So yeah, this villain is supposed to be portraying of the evil capitalist scam agenda that Maduro is portraying here, which basically if capitalism gets into Venezuela, then essentially the peace and order of Venezuela is just gonna be disturbed. And I do like the line, right, that apparently Mr. Capitalism thinks that he is going to steal the voice of the people and the peace in general.
Porque los pueblos no pueden tener voz.
Now, have y'all seen what Maduro, this guy was literally targeting political opponents left and right just for people speaking their minds. Quite ironic if you ask me, I'm just saying.
Hoy el día de trabajo promete. Qué bonito día hace. Vamos a comenzar nuestras actividades.
Ya me cargué de buena energía respirando este aire puro.
You know, I find it cute that they're portraying like Maduro to like always been like on these activities of just like hanging out with nature with his wife, you know, just being wholesome people, right? And look, there's even videos of Maduro even trying to like dance in front of a crowd of like younger people, right? Basically trying to portray himself to be just this nice guy when in reality he is not. He is not. When in reality, Maduro's out here chilling out in one of his properties, mansions, doing God knows what he must do, alright?
Tenemos aquí al héroe del pueblo. Voy a colonizar a Venezuela con los apellidos de siempre.
¡Ja! Tendrás que pasar sobre mí primero.
If you just squint your eyes just a little bit, this just looks like a reverted color Omni-Man fighting off a bad guy in one of the cities, alright? You guys think that Maduro just like watched one episode of Invincible, right? Where Omni-Man was obviously, you know, he was putting in work, right? And he thought to himself, that's literally me.
Uy, qué miedo tengo. Tengo transnacionales que pondrán un cebo a tu pueblo imposible de evitar.
¡No te queremos! ¡Ya basta, mentiroso! ¡Fuera de aquí!
Este es un pueblo unido.
So yes, Mr. Capitalism is basically saying that he's to basically exploit Venezuela of its pretty much of its industries, mostly for oil. I mean, it's your standard like anti-capitalist message here. After Mr. Capitalism just says all the stuff that he wants to say, like Maduro just literally just punches the guy, and that's literally like the end of the dude.
Eso no lo voy a permitir.
And pretty much after that, right, basically Maduro gives up a motivational speech, but he gives a speech about how Venezuela will always stand up against capitalist thugs. Honestly, pretty great episode, you know? But guys, that's not even like the most craziest episode of this series at all. This next one that I'm going to show you is honestly might be probably even the best, even though I have not even seen most of the episodes. But this one is about Elon Musk. So this episode is called Super Bigote Maduro versus Elon Musk. I mean, what's more to be said?
Con todo el poder que tengo en tecnología y la dominación en redes sociales, voy a cambiar la manera de pensar de los venezolanos.
You know what? I really like how Elon Musk looks here. Like, they really got his likeness to look like exactly 1-to-1. Probably more than that, like the new Norm show on Twitter. Alright, I feel like this portrays Elon Musk a lot better, I won't lie to you.
Quiero las riquezas naturales que tiene ese país y no creo en ningún superhéroe. Voy por ti, Super Bigote.
So pretty much Elon Musk basically just wants to take over Venezuela in the most simplest terms, right? But of course, Nicolas Maduro is not going to allow that. How he's going to plan to counterattack Elon Musk is by showing him the Bible.
Yo en este tiempo soy David y te voy a demostrar junto al pueblo venezolano que soy David contra Goliat.
If my country made an animation of Elon Musk just getting sent to space, I would probably be really proud. Like, this whole episode was literally a whole minute. And you get a lot out of it, right? Because it always ends with just a Venezuelan Omni-Man always just giving a motivational speech about how Venezuela is always great. And you should stand up to American capitalist imperialism.
Derrotamos todo el ciberataque que ha querido implementar el imperialismo. El fascismo no entrará a Venezuela porque tiene quien la defienda. Y yo soy su fiel protector.
It's a propaganda show at the end of the day. I mean, who could have guessed? Alright, so the next one we're gonna be looking at, maybe our last one, who the hell knows? I mean, these episodes are really short, but this one is called Super Bigote Derrota a la Derecha Extremista. I'm sorry if I really butchered that, but basically, Super Bigote, he is fighting against the extremists. Now, I saw a little bit of a preview of this one, and it seems like this is a really action-heavy episode, because Super Bigote, he is fighting against a three-headed Ghidorah figure monster. This might be peak.
¿Qué estás haciendo, Nico?
Estoy aprobando proyectos para beneficio del pueblo.
Are you really sure about the Maduro? Because it just seems to me you're just signing random blank sheets of white paper and just signing scribbles on it. That honestly might explain why the country hasn't changed over the past 13 years. Maybe up until now, I guess. I don't know.
No habrá beneficios para tu pueblo después de lo que tengo preparado.
So I'm assuming this American Uncle Sam looking figure is probably the overarching antagonist of the entire Super Bigote series, because if this is who governs the United States in the Super Bigote universe, then wow.
Extremista es mi mejor creación.
Es hora de retomar las calles. Marchar hasta el final.
So yeah, pretty much Uncle Sam is basically summoning an entire monster, you know, ready to pull up in Venezuela. You know, Maduro gets interrupted signing his make-believe signing sheets. He's ready to, you know, start swinging on these monsters that the Americans put on Venezuela.
¿Dónde está Super Bigote?
¿Dónde está Super Bigote? ¿Dónde está Super Bigote?
I'm sorry, man, but I just had to make that invincible joke because Dude, this literally just looks like a Venezuelan Invincible, bro.
Aquí estoy, monstruo insolente. Eso lo veremos.
Okay, cool action though, but did they just use an audio of just someone just crapping themselves?
Disgusting!
Who was in charge of the sound design here? Now, pretty much the whole entire episode is literally just Super Bigote just beating up this monster.
Te daré tu merecido.
Now that I'm thinking about it, where does Super Bigote fit into like the power scaling debate? Could Super Bigote beat Omni-Man? Could Super Bigote go with the likes of Goku? But yeah, after Super Bigote beats this monster, right, he gives another iconic speech about how Venezuela is, well, I'm sure you know the drill.
Un extremista podrá desestabilizar al país mientras yo lo proteja junto a mi pueblo. Porque trabajo en equipo, victoria segura.
I hope all of you know that these episodes probably get aired on Venezuelan TV. I hope all of you know that, by the way. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the Venezuelan propaganda TV show by Nicolas Maduro, Super Bigote. I'm really curious to know if any Venezuelans have actually watched this on TV, like other than like YouTube, right? Because, oh boy, man. So what did we learn, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I probably would have to say that in terms of animated shows, Mexicans get Dragon Ball, Filipinos get the Nutjack, and Venezuelans they get Super Bigote.